What's going on, man? Why are you using that hunting horn?
What do you mean? It's the newest one and it's got the highest sharpness.
How much raw damage does that hunting horn have?
330?
Exactly. You could be using this one, man. This one has 360.
Okay, that's pretty good, but what sharpness does it have?
White sharpness?
Exactly, so you have a smaller damage modifier, so mine's gonna do more damage in the end.
Yeah, but all the extra damage compensates for it being in white sharpness, so I think it all adds up in the end.
That's not how it works, man. Look it up, man. I'm gonna do more damage.
You're giving purple sharpness way too much credit, man. Purple sharpness isn't gonna help you if you're hitting for such little damage.
Go do the math, man. Do the math.
More raw white sharpness is better than purple sharpness and lower
man,
raw.
that's not how it works. Look it up.
No. You're not listening to me, man. You're not listening.
I'll prove it to you.
No.
All right, let's have a speed run. Let's both speed run the same monster and let's see who finishes first.
You're not gonna convince me, dude.
Yo, I'm telling you, you're not gonna do more damage.
I don't care, man. More raw and white sharpness still does more damage.
I'll bop you with this.
Guys, relax. I'll resolve this whole argument and more. All you gotta do is like, comment, and subscribe. Man, shut the hell up.
Shut up. Look at this dude. One of those YouTubers.
All you YouTubers always act like you know what you're talking about.
I bet you don't even play hunting horn. Look at this guy.
And what kind of name is Herny anyway, man?
You got a hernia? What kind of name is that? Are you typo your own name?
Get the hell out of here, man.
This man's probably not even a veteran,
man.
I bet you started with World.
How many hours you got? How many hours
50,
you got?
50 hours?
If you don't have 3,000 hours,
3,000 hours
in every
minimum.
Monster Hunter game ever,
minimum.
Don't talk.
Unless you're a veteran.
I want to see you making videos.
I want to see you making videos.
What's up, guys? So, question: what's better, more raw or more sharpness? Or in this specific case, more raw with white sharpness or less raw with purple sharpness? This question's been asked for a while, and I think it's pretty relevant now in GU. And I think it'll also be important in World too once Iceborne rolls around, and I'll explain why later. Purple sharpness has always been top tier. The damage gained from it was just too good, and outside of a few exceptions, there was little to no reason to not use a weapon in purple sharpness. But then, purple got nerfed. Up until 4U, it gave a 1.45 damage modifier, but in GU, that became 1.39. With white sharpness remaining at 1.32, the gap between the two was reduced. What does this mean? Well, it means that for some weapons in white sharpness, they can actually match or even surpass purple sharpness weapons given the right setup. So, going off of only the true raw values and the sharpness modifiers, when do they start to match each other? When do white and purple start to become comparable? Let's look at some of the stronger purple and white sharpness weapons in GU. Going off of just these values, it would seem that high raw, white sharpness weapons seem to dominate in terms of damage, while purple sharpness weapons just fall behind. But there's a lot more to consider. In a form of weapon balancing, a lot of high raw weapons in the game tend to have a couple of detriments to keep them in place. For example, they might have low affinity or even negative affinity, and they probably have little to no slots on their weapon, which kind of hurts their variability. While low raw, high sharpness weapons tend to either have a lot of affinity on them and sometimes 2 to 3 slots, which help them work with a lot of different sets. Since the inclusion of crit boost, affinity has become a lot more valuable, so some of the purple weapons would be able to reach higher affinity and raw by using skills like Repeat Offender, Resentment, and Challenger. So what we should really do is find the effective raw of our weapons, which is just a portion of the damage formula, except we're not taking into account motion values or monster defenses. We just want to know how much damage our weapon can do throughout the entire hunt. When we take everything into account, we'll get different and more accurate results. To show you, I'd like to use 3 different lances and sets that I like to use and show you how they vary. The first is the Great Ogre Tusk, also known as the Great Orgy Tusk. This lance has 350 raw and can reach purple with sharpness +1, so I use a modified version of the John Cena set to make it work. With this set I can reach 70% affinity, 20% from critical eye +2, and 50% from weakness exploit. And once everything's calculated, it has an EFR of 622.72. Not bad, but we can go higher. Next is the Deviant Gammoth Lance, the Elder Frost Stampede. This lance has 380 raw and can reach white sharpness using sharpness +2, so I use the aforementioned John Cena set to make it work. Without a better charm, I can only reach 65% affinity, but after all said and done, it still has an EFR of 632.02. So in this case, it looks like white sharpness with more raw trumped the other lance. But we're not done yet. The last lance is the fully upgraded Mantis Lance, a very common pick, and the set I use was actually referred to me by the homie Zebra, so go check him out. This lance has natural purple, so I don't need to invest any points into handicraft, and with 3 slots on the weapon, it means I can invest those points into other things. Thanks to the extra slots, I'm able to squeeze in Repeat Offender into this set, and as long as I can keep RO activated, I can stay at 100% affinity. If we plug everything in, this lance and set gives me an EFR of 642.18. So in the end, purple was able to get the run back. So what's the conclusion to the argument? Well, it's pretty situational. I'd say that purple is the most consistent, giving you the most options with your sets, usually having a lot of affinity in that set. But against certain monsters, and if you have a really hyphy charm, some white sharpness weapons can actually pull ahead in damage. Going forward, I'm going to be going a lot more in depth with a couple of weapon and armor set choices that you can do in GU, and I'll try to cover all of these in future videos. In the end, I feel that the nerf to purple was actually a good thing, because it added more variety to the endgame weapon choices. The last thing I want to say, guys, is that even though I focused on GU for this video, I think this information will also be important in World once Iceborne arrives, because I have a hunch that the purple sharpness that we're going to get in World is going to be the same 1.39 that we have in GU. Now, the last time one of the main titles had purple sharpness was in 4U, and it was in its previous above state there, but there's definitely reason to believe that the main team and the portable team communicate with each other and exchange ideas, and with Generations and GU being a spin-off title, they definitely experimented with a couple of things before they put them in the main game. For example, Crit Boost was a skill that actually came from Frontier, but they didn't put it into a main title right away. They put it in Generations first and experimented how it would work with the game and how strong it would be, and then eventually it made its way to World, and now it's one of the most influential skills in the game. And there were a handful of other ideas that were carried over as well. But regardless, this is just speculation. Of course, we don't know for sure, but I really feel like we're gonna get the nerfed purple sharpness in World. And I think it would be a good thing, like I said before, because, you know, it'll add more variety to the endgame weapon choices. So when the time comes to decide between a purple or white sharpness weapon in Iceborne or GU, hopefully this video can help you decide. Anyways, that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Happy hunting.
支えてくれる人たちに日頃の思いを込めたラプソディアプリシエーションな気持ちを堂々